Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to the Album Concept Hour. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, as I always am here on youtube.com/Flyover Park, which you are currently at, unless you're on Twitch, I guess. That's true. I forgot. This is also on Twitch. It's also on
it's not because we're twitchy.
Yeah. So, yeah, wherever you're watching this, welcome. And we had John here. What's going on, John?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
How's it, man?
And we got a very special guest with us today.
Oh, stop!
I'm bringing on I'm bringing someone from the squad into the podcast world. So I'm crossing my worlds here. We got Max over here.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to support. I support the team. I support all the work you guys do. You know, you guys.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Slack. You sound good. You look good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We got the live sign, so people know that it's live.
How professional does it get, honestly?
Yeah, exactly.
SM7Bs, dude, they're even more professional.
Dude, you got to have the SM7B. We were just talking about the SM7Bs for like a hot minute. And if I could have my way, we'd just talk about that for like 3 hours, but
we have something more important to talk about.
We got something more important. We have a very special episode for you guys today. This is our special Winter in July episode with we got Edgar Winter's album and a tribute album to his brother Johnny Winter. So that is the album we're covering today. But before we get to that, I want to ask you some questions, Max, about your experiences.
Questions.
Oh,
dude. Yeah, I'm turning this around on you.
Tell me everything. Ask me everything.
So Max works at, first of all, I should mention, Max works at Sweetwater. He's around equipment all the time. And he also has done live sound.
He's around people sometimes.
So
with
actual human people.
Terrifying. Every second of the day.
But so what are, I just wanted to ask, like, what are your kind of top couple of live recording experiences? Like, who have you done some sound for?
It's hard to say because like so much of live sound is like personal, and like it's a band that has to be particularly like monumental for whatever experience you're experiencing and who you're with and stuff. Because I love going to shows with people, but I will say some of my best shows and favorite shows, I was alone. And so I think that a lot of people get really weird about it. Like one of my favorite shows I shouldn't say recently, but one of my favorite shows I saw was in Chicago at the Metro. And it was with the band Bad Bad
Metro.
Good. Yeah. If you're on a Bad Bad Not Good, they're like jazz. And they do a lot of the instrumentation for MCs. They have a fucking fantastic album with Ghostface Killah, and it is incredible. And there's a bunch of other stuff they do. The first time I heard them was on Daniel Caesar's song called "Get You," which was like my anthem for years. Yeah, very sexy, very R&B.
Yeah,
I love the band, and so then I was watching the Tiny Desk and so that. So, one of my favorite shows recent was that one because the whole band's playing live. They do a lot of improv, but visuals. They brought this guy who had 3 60mm cameras, and then he had physical film. So like behind him was a bunch of these T-bars with like film hanging over it. Yeah, and he would just like feed film into the cameras to layer. There are 3 of them layering on top of each other on the band while the band's playing.
Oh shit!
And it was one of the most visually stimulating and exciting experiences, just because part of the footage was just like things that he and they filmed that they thought was cool. Yeah. Part of it was them on tour, because they're using the cameras to make more to put on tour. So it was like crazy because it was like mid tour. So there's like there's some driving footage. There's some footage of like them getting in, loading into the venues and stuff. But then there's footage of like a dance troupe. And they're like, there's these people, like 3 people dancing in a room with like different colors. And so it was very cool to have him being like, I'm improving film, and like I'm my own instrument, I guess, if that makes sense. It was, and then them improving. So he has to listen to them, and see how they're like, they're sounding, and be like, what type of film's most appropriate for this? And so he like pulls the film off, and he feeds it in and pulls the other film out, and it was like magical. It was like it was a very organic experience. It's like everything was live.
Of
and
course.
Back to this album for sure, because it seems a lot of live.
Well, I mean, and I was gonna say you also have like done sound for like bigger acts, like you were saying that you met one of the sound guys for the Allman Brothers doing some sound.
Earlier, that was a lot of fun. Just because, again, it's like the people who don't get credit, the people behind the scenes. Shout out to my homies in the sound industry and there's stage hands and this and that, everyone, merch, and it's one of those things where the industry is in turmoil due to Ticketmaster and fucking Live Nation. They both suck. Both. Sorry. We're in this position now where bands aren't making as much money as they used to, and because of the policies now in place, a lot of people who are outside of the country can't come in to play in the U.S. If
I was from outside the U.S., I wouldn't come near the U.S. with a 10-foot pole. No.
And the other thing that they don't
do not come to the U.S. Straight up.
It would.
So we won't talk about it.
Like I'll host for sure, but like this isn't my country. Well, it's my country. I don't own it, but it's like
I'll
stand behind it. Encourage it to be our country, though.
Exactly, 100% agree.
We're gonna stand strong and we're gonna fight. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing: if this is where I was born and raised, I fucking love America, and I will fight tooth and nail for America. If you come to my house and you're getting my representation of America, I will cook you food. I'll have you over. This is all about having fun, having a good time, getting drinks in, listening to good music. And so I just feel like when it came down to it, another thing that people don't really think about with people coming in and playing music, work visas, and two, because of the tariffs and stuff, because the steel is so high right now. People don't consider that when you buy a tour bus, like you rent a tour bus on tour, the cost of it goes up because the steel costs are so expensive. And so a lot of people don't realize, like, when that goes up, you have to rent a tour bus for your show or for whatever you're doing, and it costs 3-4 times more expensive than you thought it would. So
it's almost like we're screwing the entire supply chain or something.
It's wild, and people don't,
just a little
bit. Know how things are connected. The problem is they don't know the logistics of anything. And that's exactly why people call me up and they ask me about, hey, how do I plug this in? How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's like I mean, I get it. It's hard. But the problem is that a lot of people don't consider, live sound or being in the music industry in that way as like a real job, and it's like very problematic. Then it's like not only are we charging out the ass for these tickets and people can't go to shows, but then the people who are working there aren't getting paid their due diligence because they, they're like, well, why would you deserve health care? And you're like,
well, because I'm alive, and and I have health, and
when you
it goes up and down.
Think about when you're lifting heavy things and you might drop it on your toe.
Imagine an accident happening in your life.
Oh, it's awful. It's one of the worst fucking things ever. Another show I saw recently.
Taking all that away. Anyways, we should roll into this podcast. Huh?
Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah. John is right.
Sorry,
but let us know more about anything that comes up. I mean, I'm sure it will come up because we're this album is like a live album. We were saying during the listen through, it has all of the energy of you are in the room with them,
especially when you get those run of covers and stuff.
Oh my god, it's it's a really fun blues set list essentially. You know what I mean? The first thing that we're gonna hear is a little bit of a track called Mean Town Blues. So here is a little bit of this with Edgar Winter and Joe Bonamassa on this track.
Well,
this is just
Yeah.
blues.
Yeah.
Blues
I think the last
incarnate.
line there is "My brother done told me to."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah. Well, because this one is, I believe, this one is written by Johnny. He starts off with one that's written by Johnny Winter. And I should mention, like, just to set this up a little bit, this album has got like kind of equal parts covers of his brother Johnny Winter's songs, who is a big blues guy, and then covers of just kind of blues standards. So it's like, if you're a blues fan, like, this album is like heaven for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is, especially with the features.
Yeah. This one, we have, like I said, Joe Bonamassa, who at 12 years old opened for BB King.
Damn.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
dude was just like
an early
royalty.
credit.
At 12, I probably shit the bed or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I probably was a worthless
I
12-year-old.
was trying to play with my Power Rangers figures,
Yeah, exactly.
before
Exactly.
nighttime came.
Yeah. How do you like have such a life by 12 that like you
Who
understand the blues? Like, did he have a rough life?
I tell you, man, and what's crazy about that concept is that is actually straight split down the middle for like relative and in important figures in history. That kind of concept is actually split down the middle, because sometimes it really is just crazy poverty. You have nothing.
Right.
Well,
that's kind of what gets
too.
you there. And then the other half is actually just people that had the time.
Love the blues.
No, people that had the time. Sometimes kids got trained to play a guitar when they were like 8, if their parents were, like.
Well, that's actually a good
thing, and that's a thing too.
No, I got a good segue, because this is actually like what his family was like. He was talking about. I was watching a good interview about from Edgar Winter talking about this album, and like what him and his brother and his parents played a lot of music. His grandpa played the fiddle. There was just music was just always in the home, and so like when he like started going out and like meeting people, like that's when he found out that wasn't like a normal experience.
Yeah.
So like he just kind of like he was like, oh yeah, people, you should know like chords and things, right? Like your parents taught you chords,
Common sense. It's
Yeah,
relative, people.
Yeah. So they were both like already, from the gate, like into music in a very natural way, which is very cool. And it sounds like their parents were supportive and stuff too. So I'm assuming that it wasn't like a like you're saying, it's the two different ways. Like they went the way they didn't have to be sad necessarily.
Right.
But yeah, so Johnny Winter was the blues brother, the blues brother. He was the brother that enjoyed the blues of the two. And obviously, we've covered a little bit of Edgar Winter on the
movies tonight.
We're going to at some point. Yeah. But I was just going to say, Edgar Winter, of course, we've covered on the podcast. We did Frankenstein. We talked about on one of the Halloween episodes. So, very different, for the most part, than what you would hear in that kind of Edgar Winter album.
That's awesome, dude. Because it's like, what he gave and what he laid on the table.
Yeah.
Ultimately led to some of their greatest successes.
Yeah.
And it's all about the difference between the two. You got to have versatility. You got to have variety, I guess.
Yeah, and like that's like the beauty of their like kind of relationship as brothers is like they were both excellent musicians and excellent songwriters in their own right, but had very different loves of music. You know what I mean?
It's interesting. You were saying like the idea of not having money. Going back to these lyrics. What is it? He's
right.
I worked for $1, could not save a lousy man, could not save a dime, and I'm just like, dude, just being poor, and the thing what he talks about, he says at one point, because I pack my suitcase and I move on I hit that lonesome road.
Yeah,
and he's like, dude, and that's that's just kind of where it goes sometimes. Where you're like, well, I can't do shit here. I got to go somewhere else.
And I think that is a little bit of a through line with this album. A little bit like the lonesome road thing. Like the album is very
gone,
yeah, because he himself. That's like his own kind of perspective almost. Because like he's not with his brother anymore.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of in the background of the like themes happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is also a big, blues trope. But
I like that he starts with it too, because he's like, "Hey, man, like, let's get this straight. This is about my brother."
Yeah.
And him. Then the best part is he starts bringing in more people as the tracks go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of
definitely.
amazing how many features are on here.
Yeah.
Like, I was really impressed, and I'm big name players.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So like for instance, this next track we have. Ross Hogarth is the person that did the production like for most of it, and then this features Kenny Wayne Shepherd. This track.
Still alive and well. Every now and then I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm still alive and well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if did he do that?
I'm assuming,
I think that was the fucking Frankenstein riff, dude. I think he did a note.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Damn, I didn't even catch that, dude. That's right. You're right. He
So,
totally did.
And it's one of those things where you like, first and foremost, Kenny Wayne Shepherd being like, "Look, like I know where I'm at. Like let me go back to our roots of why we're here in the first place." And then I don't know, just one of those guys where this one is pretty upbeat. It reminds me more of like the Joe Walsh style of like the Eagles style, than like the BB King.
Right. Well, I was also getting the band vibes. Definitely like the band. Just like a joyful, fun. Everyone on stage is having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they're drinking, they're sucking.
Yeah. I do think it's like, okay, there's part of me that thinks this track is really funny just in the track listing, just because it's like it's almost like he's like pushing it in his face or something. Like what I can't find the right term.
He's like I know my brother's down.
He's like, hey, you're dead, but I'm alive. I'm still alive and well. So like,
a brotherly thing.
Like I kind of that's like what I wonder is like, is this like a tongue in cheek thing? Like, haha.
I mean, listen, that is sibling shit.
Yeah,
that is sibling shit.
At the core of it,
I love that.
It is sibling shit. Well, because it doesn't. It doesn't always mean something like malicious, but sibling shit expands.
He would say it, and his brother would laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's
what I'm thinking it might be.
Again, it being the chorus and it being the like thing he says the most in the track is hilarious.
Because like everyone knows.
Alive and well,
yeah,
still alive. I don't know if you heard me, but I'm still.
Yeah, and it is like such
using some Frankenstein riff,
and with a Frankenstein riff too, which is nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's a great track. I really enjoy that one. That's one that's originally by Rick Derringer, which I think we'll hear.
It was okay. I thought he says still alive and well. He beats a dead horse, which is ironic.
I do think like that is like okay.
He beats the dead brother.
Yeah, if I could say one criticism is like, the songs go a little too long.
Repetitive.
But like they go long, like we said, in a live kind of way. Like if we were watching it live, like you wouldn't think that it was too long, but like recorded it is like, yes, okay, we're at minute 4. Let's wrap it up, guys.
You're like, oh, I can make a drink.
All right. Like I love it, but like,
it's good. It's good. And the other part is like presentation on these tracks. Like the thing that makes it almost sound like a live album, and I'll say this right out the gate so y'all can think about it, which is that like it has a uniformity throughout the whole album. Where like
Yeah.
even though they're bringing all these new players on, these new people on, it has a general like great
Mhm.
Yeah.
live feel,
That's a good
but
point.
also it has this context where all of, like the guitar players' styles and sounds will be a little bit different, but it's just like bringing guests in. It's like bringing people on the
Yeah.
team, to,
Yeah.
give their voice, give their ideas, and I think that's important. That's exactly what we're doing right here. Like this is my
Yes.
guitar solo right now.
Exactly.
And-
We're doing the same thing that Edgar Winter
We're
did.
like fucking Edgar Winter.
We're just like Edgar
Telling
Winter.
you, man. One of the best things about capitalism is that expanding out so everybody can try and feel the same thing.
I don't think capitalism's doing very well
that's
right
the
now.
expansion. No,
yeah.
that's the expansion of good capitalism.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not saying
I don't
we're
know
in
if there
good
is.
Yes, of course,
capitalism.
good
Yeah.
capitalism.
Well,
No,
we're
there
at
is.
we're at the end of.
It's called socialism,
Yeah.
but they don't like to call it that.
yeah.
So they still call it capitalism.
We should just
until
start
they
calling
need
it socialism.
until
though,
they
I
start
think.
need to calling it capitalism
You know?
again, because
Mom Donnie did fine calling it
we're
socialism.
like in some kind
you know?
of budget
Absolutely.
crisis.
Yeah.
And it's usually because of the weapons, but that's
Yeah.
beyond the point. Anyway,
So okay, from this point forward, whenever you hear John talk about capitalism, he is talking about socialism.
I mean,
I'm just-
I'm talking about good capitalism, and good capitalism is socialism with
All right.
a capitalist engine.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, I like the engine
Yeah.
aspect.
Capitalist engine works wonders for a
What's
good
that band name?
cause.
Speaking of
It
the
also works wonders for a horrible cause.
speaking
But
of
that's
that,
usually when it's an individual person
Right.
caring about what they want.
speaking about capitalist engines, here's Lone Star Blues.
yeah, totally. Dude, I remember this one. All right, start with three.
Oh, yeah.
Fame and fortune hit me like a heart attack.
I like a heart attack.
Yeah,
Mm.
that one is a Johnny Winter original, Lone Star Blues. Yeah, it's I think that track that's kind of about like feeling alienated because
Mhm.
you're famous and people are treating you different or something, right?
Yeah, they were like, so a couple things.
Yeah,
It was interesting for him to be just like, yo, now I'm famous, after leaving and going my own way, and now people like he's like I think on one of the lines he says, I don't know who to trust, and I thought that was interesting because it's just like, I mean, I'm not famous, like I don't know that situation of like when you hear stories of people getting super rich and famous, and then their relatives are like, well, where's my money, and you're like, well,
oh yeah.
so and this kind of reminds me of that where it's like he's like, I'm famous, I don't know who I should believe in, who's just trying to like get something off of me and do this and that,
Right.
or who actually genuinely believes in my cause. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Second is, it is one of the first ones. He starts with the acoustic guitar, right, and he just like he's only doing acoustic, and then he halfway through is when the band comes in. They got the
Sounds
drums
so
and
good
bass,
too. The acoustic.
and it right when they pull in, it's like it has this foundation to it,
Yeah.
And I really like that they do it because it reminds me of how like, yeah, okay, he's apprehensive to bring people onto the table,
yeah.
and he does come in. They come in halfway midway, and
Yeah.
they're like, they're not doing too much, but they support him completely, and so
They kind of
it's
do
really
that.
good.
They kind of do that in the last track too. We'll get to it, but they
Mhm.
kind of do that in the last track as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, and Alive and Well, do they?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
been ripping on that one though. It was like it was just like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who do we
I
got for
think they're
this
supposed
track?
to
We
ring
got.
on that one.
David
Oh yeah. This
Campbell's-
feature is Keb Moss or Keb Mo
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Keb Mo.
from a living legend of the Delta Blues. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this dude's
shit.
look at this, 5 Grammys. So just so y'all know, he's got 5 This dude is ripping this guitar, man.
Dude.
Wow, Gibson, of
Damn.
course.
Oh well, yeah. It's got to. If you're gonna do the
Dude, all
blues,
these guys
you
are
gotta
playing
be.
Gibson.
You
It's
gotta
like
play
you
Gibson.
hear it and you
Yeah.
see it, and it's like, God damn.
Yeah.
I get it, man. Dude, he's got fucking shit. He's got like at least 12 solo albums.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like just looking
Yeah,
at his website.
the amount of solo albums between the members of this, conglomerate.
My life, it
You
probably
couldn't-
is my 12 years old of age.
Yeah.
Like,
It takes so long to get through all their discographies.
I might die
Yeah.
trying to listen to all this.
Blues folks, man, blues guys, man, they put out all sorts of shit.
Dude,
man.
they'll put everything out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they put out. I'm just saying they put everything.
They put everything.
They lay it on the table.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
put out too.
Yeah. This next track we got for you guys is called "I'm Yours and I'm Hers."
Dude,
Gets a little
This
naughty.
no, naughty. This one is ripping. So good. Oh, there you go.
You melted my face right off.
Oh God,
Is my face melting off,
are you
guys?
okay?
Dude, I mean,
He melted
I-
my face
I-
off.
Damn.
Solo, man.
Because of his sliding. God damn, man.
I thought that was a little melted, but I think you're okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was just
Good.
seeing a
Everything's-
glare in the glasses.
Everything's in place. Good. Oh,
Dude,
man. That's
that-
a good fucking solo.
That's a fast rip. Like, they just fly through that track. And then it was like, because it's Billy Gibbons and it's Derek Trucks. And so,
Yeah.
dude, Derek Trucks is like fucking.
Yeah.
It's a slide. And actually, it's not a slide. This is the other thing. I don't know why I say this. So, he found out a way to play with his fingers where he can make it sound like a slide guitar. He can like slide with his hands.
Wait. Are you talking about Gibbons?
No,
Or the
Derek Trucks.
okay.
Yeah, dude. And like you got to watch his tech. It's like
Huh.
kind of fucking crazy. I mean,
So he
It's-
just kind of hovers his.
I have no
Huh.
idea. It's amazing though because he can make because part of what slide guitar is doing. So when I think
Well,
of slide,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
No. I was just thinking out loud. I'm just thinking like, oh, like I mean, your guitar, like you can make it sound however you want it to
Oh, yeah.
if you know it well enough. You know.
Oh yeah,
You know, though,
Yeah.
I've seen like a standing sliding guitar
yes, yeah.
And I can
that's what
see
Steve Miller plays.
where
My friend
that
Steve
in
Miller, not Steve
particular
Miller, man.
really can be an asset because you can, if you know, say like, especially considering I'm always trying to think of
cello.
the people that like did this shit in the beginning, right? The people that developed
Right.
Yeah.
the sliding guitar probably played guitar
Yeah.
and then did that for fun one day
Right.
and was just like, I can do so much more because I can. And that's what really developed the original sliding guitar effect.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is just an.
The idea, like you said, like I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Derek Trucks, I will see if I can find this video, but like it's him being like, yeah, this is just like how I developed my style, and he just like a lot of people say that his guitar sounds like a vocal, and I think that that's so important when you think of slide guitar because a lot of singing is like
Yeah. Yeah.
so you have this like way that it slides into the notes, and having him being able to physically do that on guitar without a slide, because that's the whole purpose. Like you're sliding the.
Well, yeah. You
brass.
are kind of limited when you have the slide actually on
You
your
are.
finger. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he does the both, and dude, it is like there's a video of Derek Trucks and BB King that is like absolutely incredible because BB King is just moved, and like when you're moved, and I just think that's just such a fucking beautiful thing. And he is listening to Derek and Derek's playing. He knows he's in the presence of greatness, and so he's just like doing his best, and he's
Yeah.
he's so fucking into it. And so watching him a master, and this is like 10 years ago watching this video.
Yeah.
15, 20, but it was like watching Derek rip this solo and BB King like move his head and be like, oh my god, you fucking really know how to play.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
not only the
Yeah.
greatest combo in
Yeah.
the world, but it's just a testament to how important it is to I don't know.
It's a testament to experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is really amazing. And again,
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons is an amazing player.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I just love ZZ Top's not a band I really listen to, but fuck, like my good friend Michael,
they rip. They do rip though, man. Like
rip.
Yeah,
They're
when you,
so good.
I know what you mean. They're not like a band you like go to a lot, but when you whenever you do hear it, you're like, oh fuck, dude, ZZ Top.
Like, who is this?
Yeah,
and they're like ZZ Top, and I'm like,
yeah,
am I stupid? Like they've been around for so long.
I know, right? The beard guys.
Well, you forget they're really talented musicians.
Yeah. And Billy, a couple things. One, he plays Magnetone amps. I gotta get a Magnetone. That's gonna be one of my fucking amps I'm gonna buy. But anyway, two, they're really expensive. They're really nice.
Okay.
Two is I have this story of my friend Michael. One of his last shows he saw with his dad was ZZ Top, and apparently they were at Grand Ole Opry. And he was like, they're watching him, and they were like, "Hey, anyone want to like shout out a song? Like, let me know." And Michael was like, "TV Dinner," which is like an old cut ZZ Top song. And they were like, they pointed at him, and they were like, "Hey, you fucking yeah!" And then they played TV Dinner, and I was like, "Dude." I was like,
yes,
you made that moment for someone who he and his dad bonded with ZZ Top, because honestly, like I have a good relationship with my dad. He and I go to concerts together. He's part of the reason why like certain concerts mean a lot to me, because I was with my dad.
Yeah,
and I think that comes from a lot of places. Like he went to the shows that fucking blow because he had to be the chaperone, right?
Right.
And then we go to shows together that we're both like, this band fucking rocks. Yes. Yeah. And so, being with your dad.
Yeah.
Shout out all the parents who have to take their kids to concerts.
Yeah.
Suffer through it. They will listen to shit you like. Like, it is important.
Yeah.
And taking people to concerts is important, because I was friends with a guy named Greg. I love Greg, but he said that. And he said, he was like, "Why would I go to a concert if I can listen to an album?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Greg, you've never seen a live concert. That is exactly why you."
That is what we do here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting on that track, we do need to get on to the next track.
I was gonna say, you know what the best track to see live is in general?
Yeah,
Johnny B. Good.
Right. Especially because it mentions one of our favorite people.
Oh, Johnny be good.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this track's pretty damn self-explanatory.
Dude, right? Fucking Johnny Be Good.
Johnny Be Good.
And this is the one with...
There's a lot of these that we can probably go through pretty quickly because they're covers, but...
Well, this is... Joe Walsh is in this one, though, right? This is the one with Joe Walsh?
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta mention Joe Walsh. And David Grisham.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking Johnny Be Good. It's I mean... It was an amazing song before Back to the Future, and then Back to the Future introduced it to a new generation.
Yeah, and that's Little Richard, right? Johnny B. Good's first by Little Richard.
Mm-hmm.
No. Chuck Berry.
You tell me, I don't know.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, remember,
right.
This is your cousin, Marvin Berry. Check this out.
That's hilarious.
God bless Back to the Future.
There you go. That's how
I mean, see, I've always just known it because, like, again, my name's John, so I've a lot of good songs named after John.
Yeah,
John.
Well, in this one,
say about it. You said that people would play it. You'd be
That's right. When I was a kid, especially.
Yeah,
I was a dancing machine, motherfucker.
Yeah, I bet.
No,
you can still do it, is what I'm
damn
saying.
right I can.
Yeah.
I am a hoot at weddings. I am wonderful. I am a great time.
Dude.
Every
I
time.
can tell.
Yeah, I need a couple of tequila shots in me, and then I'm really.
I
I'm on the
mean,
dance
I'm already
floor.
doing that,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know,
Did
Yeah,
you say
it's the only way. That's the
Tequila-
only way.
tequila is for
I'm not
me-
doing tequila.
tequila is my wedding
Vodka.
drink.
Or
I
actually,
love
Jaeger
to.
shots.
I love to go to a wedding and have some tequila.
No,
So tequila is my top party drink.
No,
I go tequila, whiskey,
Oh,
beer.
tequila's so
People
bad
are
for
like-
you.
It's so
People
bad.
are like,
Oh,
All
bro,
right.
getting a tummy
it was
ache.
bad.
thinking
I used to
about it.
take tequila shots before going to work, and it was only because it was like,
See, I did Jaeger shots.
dude, hell no.
Love Jaeger.
I love Jaeger, but I'm not going to do that before work.
Mm.
It's too heavy. It's deep.
Right. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It
I
does
feel that.
come off the breath.
Yeah.
Real heavy.
Yeah.
I'll give you
It
Yeah.
that.
comes off
You can definitely.
I'll give
You
you that.
definitely
You
smell
definitely
that.
smell Jaeger.
Yeah.
It's the licorice.
Yeah.
scent.
If you're trying to hide
Ah,
it, we're
licorice
tips.
smell.
We're giving you guys tips.
Exactly.
If you want to hide
Yeah.
the alcohol
Yeah,
you drink.
exactly. That's the one
We're a
thing
helpful
we'll do
podcast.
We're Wisconsinites. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You know?
Truthfully. And I'm
We're
from
here to
Indiana,
help
but I
out
lived
the
in
young
Chicago
people.
for 10 years, so
Yeah. We're Midwest.
I'm pretty close to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
you know?
We're basically the same.
We're the same. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, great track. A lot of great guitars going on. They solo
Good
forever.
rendition.
Back to the Future.
And then we have Stranger.
Well, I can tell you where I've been. I guess it really doesn't matter. 'Cause I'm just looking for a friend.
As you see, Michael McDonald.
I was about
Yep.
to say, is that a one
Yeah, I can
Michael
tell.
McDonald?
Oh, yeah.
Is that Michael McDonald? Is that
There's like
Ronald
one
McDonald?
Michael McDonald on that track.
Yeah. I love
That is
hearing some
80s
Michael
Michael
McDonald.
McDonald.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's 80s. Yeah, dude.
Mm.
Hey, explain your take. Okay, the separation between
So I'm telling you.
the
So,
dichotomy between
yeah, so we got the Doobie Brothers, right?
McDonald.
Right.
and
Right.
there is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pre Doobie Brothers,
Right.
and there is a post Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Post
I
McDonald
cannot-
era.
Yeah.
If one of you guys could look up the original lead singer of the band, so he really kind of led the way, and him and the original guitarist who sings the version of those two really kind of led down a southern rock kind of progression, right? We're talking
Yes.
like Chinatown,
Yeah.
but then eventually he needed to call it quits for a minute, and he needed a break, so he went to like rehab or something like that. He needed a second, and so they needed to bring in multiple people to replace him.
Right.
One of the people was Michael McDonald on
Nice.
keyboards, and then Michael McDonald just slowly, but absolute skilledness took over the band.
Tom Johnston.
Yes, Tom Johnston. He took a break, and because he took a break,
He was like, "This is my
Michael
band
McDonald took over the band, and that's how we get What a Fool
now. This is my
Believes.
band now."
And that's the album. There's an album that they won so many. They were nominated and even won a couple Grammys for it. And that's the one with
Okay.
What a Fool Believes.
Dude, he didn't. He didn't have to say
and
it.
he
After
just-
made all
he
those
just
songs
did
about
that.
it.
And then the rest of the band was like, "We're not what we were." So
We're
they
not-
were
we're not
like,
what we
they
were.
quit,
That's
and then
so
he just
sad,
went off and
dude.
became
That's so
Michael
sad.
McDonald.
Dude, that's so sad,
you know,
man.
Man, Michael McDonald's a tyrant, man. It sounds he
This is
sings
an
all these soft.
McDonald
Yeah,
podcast.
fuck Michael
I tell
McDonald.
It's such a
Fuck
crazy
Michael
progression
McDonald.
because
This
it's
is
like
our-
he
this is
sunk
our
into a
minute and
band.
a half that we're gonna say
he, like,
fuck you, Michael
sunk-
McDonald.
He like
Piece of
sunk into the
shit.
band, and then he like took
How
over the
dare
band.
you, Michael
And then when
McDonald.
they were like, "Well, we don't want to do what you want to do
Where's
anymore,"
this?
he was like, "Fine, I got enough backers. Fuck you." And that the
Where's
rest of the
this?
'80s was Michael McDonald, so he was
Yeah,
on every
yeah.
big hit.
And he's like,
He did a whole bunch of duets. Exactly. So
You're
it's,
like,
it's
yeah,
some
what?
crazy
I
shit.
can hardly understand your singing.
And now there is two different versions
Don't make fun
of
of
the Doobie
me.
Brothers to this day.
Yeah, don't make fun of me. I'm a better musician.
It's just
than
like
you.
the same story. It's just like Van Halen, Van Hagar,
Right,
even
right.
Styx, because Styx is
There's
technically
Styx.
divided.
AC/DC had a singer.
Yep.
Well, wait, their
Well,
first singer died,
their
right?
first singer died, so that's
Yeah,
Right.
Journey though. Journey.
That's a little different.
Journey.
Journey.
Yep.
Journey does it
Their
too.
singer quit, and they found a guy
Yep.
who was way
Sounded
better.
just
You
like
got
him.
you got to make it work.
Anyways, so
We got Joe
another
Walsh
track here.
and Ringo Starr in this track. This is a track about being a stranger, about feeling being a stranger in a one-horse town or something.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's probably the most contemporary sounding track, I think. Then we have a song that is by Bob Dylan. It's called Highway 61 Revisited.
Mm.
Yeah, the slide was that first. Man,
I can only
Gary.
assume that the
That
slide
is
whistle was in the
Gary.
original version
okay,
too,
it was
right?
Like, who the fuck put slide whistle and shit? And they just did it, and this track still rocks. So
And it still rocks. Like, it doesn't detract from it at all. You know, it's like
it actually enhances it. And I think I've said that never.
yeah.
Was my,
Yeah. I've never asked for slide whistle. More slide whistle.
Literally, I didn't know it was on the menu,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it still keeps coming up sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be able to apply it to a song myself. Yeah, you're right. It's like
yeah. Who's the session player slide whistle musician?
the only okay.
Shut the
Brian,
fuck up.
Brian
You have a
Wilson.
name
I was
for
gonna
this?
say no. Brian Wilson though, he did do some slide whistle bullshit. I remember some slide whistle in Pet
R.I.P.
Sounds.
Brian Wilson.
R.I.P. The master.
The homies.
Yep.
We're tight.
He's up
I mean,
there. He's
we-
up there in
he's up
Heaven
there.
Band with Johnny Winter and
Yeah. Eating jalapeno sliders and
yeah.
you know
Mm-hmm. Yep. Him and
just my a little bit of my heaven.
wait, is Jimmy
So
Buffett
viewers know.
dead?
Yeah.
Never mind. Jimmy Buffett
What?
has nothing to do with this.
Wait, what?
Is
My
Jimmy
own
Buffett
personal
still
heaven?
around? Jimmy Buffett?
Yes.
Okay.
I just had this conversation. This is so funny. I did someone because I was talking to my friend Rob, and he was like, he used to work for like as a wedding DJ.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's always some motherfucker who wants to play Margaritaville and doesn't know the lyrics. He wants to sing Margaritaville, doesn't know the fucking lyrics. And like the last wedding he did, because they were doing karaoke.
Yeah.
The company he was working for.
Yeah.
And he was like, some motherfucker. And the last time it was the bride's dad. 2 sheets to the wind, fucked up out of his mind, singing Jimmy Buffett.
It always is someone
Dude.
from the wedding party, dude. Straight
too
up.
too close to
Yeah.
the wedding party.
Yeah.
And the best part was he left the book of songs, right? The book of songs for the karaoke
Right.
at the wedding party when he left. And he was like, the girl who made it, he was like, Sharon, I'm so sad. I fucking left this book of karaoke songs that we have access to. It's like
Yeah.
a huge box.
Yeah.
He was like, what?
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The binders.
Yeah. So, but she goes, it's okay, Rob. We decided unanimously we're never doing karaoke again. And I was just like laughing my ass off. I was like, dude, I get it. Like, karaoke fucking sucks sometimes.
And especially at a wedding, I would
Yeah.
never. That's not the
karaoke's
place.
rough.
I don't think.
yeah, I mean,
Too much
It's
too many opportunities for just. I mean, I've been to a wedding with karaoke and it was fine, but like I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's fine.
it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, who's the white guy who's going to say the N word?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pick this this rap song with a lot
Speaking of the N
lot of
word,
these
we're going to go to
words.
this next track.
of worst transition ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
That- that
this track though, I will say, like, it's a Bob Dylan song. It's got.
yeah.
I would
it's-
recommend
it's-
reading
yeah.
the lyrics if you're a lyric guy and you're following along
Yeah,
with
yeah.
us.
He says the N word at least 14 times.
But yeah, it's just a great like rambling song, like classic
It's
Bob
relaxing.
Dylan story,
like therapy.
Yeah. And then we get to rock and roll hoochie coo.
Well, actually, wait, real quick.
Yeah.
I have to grab a drink.
Okay.
I know it's like been the third in 20 minutes. Anyway.
Wait. Actually, why don't we take a quick break then? Because John's gone, and I know he wants to listen to this track. So do you want to take a quick?
Yeah, he was
quick
he
10-minute
was
break.
Loving it. We were all loving it because it's crazy because I think that because it was a cover. Because like we know the covers, they're all classic blues songs.
Yeah,
but it was like I think you said had you heard the song before?
I had not heard this track before.
But you technically heard it.
Well, during I do. I pick the clips, and I always hear everything before the listen through. Yeah.
You son of a bitch!
I know.
I didn't listen to it.
I like to pretend that I have not heard it.
Shut the fuck up! Don't do that.
I gotta pick my clips ahead of time.
Well, here's what I will say.
Yeah.
What you're great at is the research, and that's what's super important because
you're
like, this is where this comes from. This is what I like about it. These are the people involved, which makes it important.
Well, thank you. I have not always been this researched, as some listeners can attest, but I try to, especially with albums like this where there's a lot of like big players. I try to get the names down now. Yeah,
but you got it. Then what that means too.
Yeah,
is there's probably some tracks that you can do that will be like listen through when you listen through it.
Right.
And you should incorporate that more because you were like, a lot of times when we were doing stuff, you were like, oh yeah, I've listened to this. And I was just like, you've listened to it. Has John listened to it?
Well, no. A lot of times John is just listening to it for the first time. Like basically, I'm the only one that has heard it before usually when the podcast starts because I have to pick the clips or whatever. But
there's a lot more expectations.
Yeah. But I was gonna say you're gonna get a drink, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break, guys, and we'll be back. And we have 10 more tracks for you guys on the Album Concept Hour.
Be right back.
The Album Concept Hour.
All right, I'm gonna click the button. Welcome back, everybody. We're here.
Yeah,
and we got 10 tracks left, and the next one is a favorite.
This good track.
Yeah. John was really digging this one during the listen through. We got rock and roll hoochie coo.
Hoochie coo.
Rock and roll, hoochie coo. Chuck on out and make the news. Now let's get to start talking about this time of year. Going round back said should meet me there.
Yeah, that's a nice little snippet.
Rock,
yeah,
roll, hoochie coo. Yeah.
Almost, as Lou Reed said, shout out to the Color Girls, but it's like one of those things where it's like getting background singers in there who just rip and know how to sing.
You, man.
Yeah.
First choice, bad. That shit was bad, And then it's like the riffs are good.
Yeah,
it's a classic.
Yeah, there's another Rick Derringer number.
Some type of way about it, John.
You know what's crazy about this is that it's what we were talking about earlier about like gospel music,
right? Yeah,
because gospel music leads straight into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like gospel music trains your voice.
Yeah,
and then you get to do whatever the fuck you want with it once you have it.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of range.
And there are people that just did this shit with their voice, and it is just
yeah.
It is killer.
People who are real performers who have a lot of passion, a lot of heart.
Yeah, this one feels like an anthem.
I think great about Edgar Winter being like, we're putting these people on the track.
We always forget about that. It's a real capitalist thing we always forget is that one of the things, especially in this country, that really propels things is passion. But then passion dies and it just becomes business.
Well, yeah,
and
the
that's where
commodifying
that's
of and that's the thing. Edgar Winter
that's
talked
where it gets
about that
tough,
a lot,
you know?
actually, or a little bit when the interview is. He was talking about how a lot of people were coming to him after his brother passed, offering him all sorts of deals to make a project like
Mhm.
this, but like he could tell that they weren't genuine and they didn't really they were just trying to
It was
make a
just
quick buck.
capitalization.
Can't sing like that.
So he actually like delayed doing this for a long time until he actually was like playing blues with like a bunch of
Mhm.
Johnny's friends, and that's when he
Right.
finally I
And they
think
let the
decided
passion
to
come out of it.
yeah. That's when he like
Yeah.
saw it as like an actual project
Mhm.
and did it. But yeah, there was that thing though. He was I
Oh.
think he is a very anti anti-capitalist in the sense
Uh-huh.
that he really doesn't
Oh yeah.
want to be used in that way.
Well, it's
Um,
there's such a mix, and you have to let it mix, because otherwise it's too strong either way. And I'm talking about socialism and capitalism. If you let them mix,
I'm not
you
talking
let
about
them mix.
Edgar Winter
It's
and
just it's like, well, that's the same
Kenny Wayne
thing, though.
Shepherd. Sorry, Steve Lukather. Good Toto's guitars.
right.
Mhm.
But yeah, really great track here. And then we get on to you when you got a good friend. This is a good track.
Good. Here I got it.
Watch your
Oh,
close friends, baby.
Not best acoustic
Enemies
stuff.
can do you no harm.
Just wailing.
Didn't you say it was about like his wife? I think I remember reading those lyrics right.
This one. Okay, so
Was
this one's
this
the
the
Robert
Robert
Johnson. This is the Robert
song?
Johnson one.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course
okay.
it is.
Yeah. And we have Doyle
And it was
Bramhall the
yeah,
second.
John said that. John said it was the
Yeah.
Nope.
But yeah, it's just a nice track about treating your lady right and like treating her like a friend and treating her like a human being.
Hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
It's how you keep them.
Well, yeah, it's not hard. You
partners,
just
man.
you gotta
That's
treat them
just-
like a person.
Gotta
And
remember, they're just like
I like
you.
this is very I don't know nice to hear at least at this time period.
One of my favorite quotes, man, of all time is George R. Martin, and he was like, was it R. Martin? Anyway, the point is
George R. Martin. I think.
R.
Yeah. I think he was involved in that movie RRR. Yeah. Sorry, what were we saying?
People discredit him for it. It's awful.
Yeah.
He had an interview where they were like, "You write such like driven and inspirational female characters. Like, how do you fucking do it?" And he's like, "I've considered women to be people too."
Ain't that the thing, though?
Dude,
But, it's
like, well, a woman would think like this, and it's like, what do you mean?
Are
He was
women
like,
not
"Person?"
human too?
There's
Oh my god!
they're like definitely like pre like 2000s or whatever. It definitely was this thing where it's like all scripts are just written by middle-aged white dudes.
Yeah,
and you can tell.
It's like, this is what a woman would talk like.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah,
this
there's a
is
fucking reason that we needed some fucking DEI or like
Dude,
shit.
Oh my god!
100%. It's like, dude.
Yeah,
It's not
it
about
just makes shit
perspective,
better.
it's
I don't know.
That's
Well, we're just
get
like
some people of
a
color
little
and women
integration
and-
does not kill nobody, guys.
Yeah, it's
come
like
on.
oh shit, oh no, we have better stories. Shit.
Oh my god!
oh no!
It's almost like those kind of
movies are
jobs
better.
anybody could do, right?
Dude,
like people like with the ability should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, dude, this is kind of fucked, man. But like, mark my words. Movie and cinema in America is going to be worse from not having.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my god!
We're on
I
track
am
for
not
some
excited.
vanilla fucking movies.
I think we got like 5 years of shit that's probably gonna happen,
Oh,
and then it's
God,
gonna
I
start
don't need
getting
another
bad.
9/11.
That's what's
I
crazy.
mean that
It's
in the
just
sense of when 9/11
There's-
happened,
there's
I
gonna
felt
be
like
this
there were only
delay.
superhero movies.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. I always thought that was just a special effects thing. Like they finally were able to do
Yeah,
superhero
what,
movies.
9/11? Sorry.
Yeah,
What is the next
after
track?
9/11 happened and they released that Spider-Man film, everything changed.
Right.
No.
Yeah, remember the
No,
9/11,
9/11
the Twin
was
Towers and the
so
Spider-Man. There was like the Twin Towers and the Spider-Man, like one of the theatrical trailers, and then they had to like recut and take it out of the movie. Just take it out.
The best part is they took him out. It's so pointless. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so it couldn't have been in the past?
Right? Yeah, I know, right? Come on, let's little respect for the towers.
Spider-Man is now.
Spider-Man did it,
happening
though.
Right.
every moment. Okay.
Yeah. The Green Goblin can melt steel beams.
So
You
what
know, Will
you've seen his
Dafoe is
tech.
still alive.
is the Green Goblin melting the next track, bro? Dude?
Right.
Yeah.
The next track is going to be melted by a couple folks. We got Phil X, the
This
lead
is actually a
singer.
ripper.
of
Phil
Bon
X
Jovi.
played for Bon
Lead guitarist
Jovi,
of
which
Bon
I'd
Jovi.
say I'd talk mad shit about. But as much as I understand Bon Jovi's space in the rock and roll fame, fandom,
The Boss, etc. No, that's
that's
Springfield.
why he's on a
No,
Rolling
that's
Stones
not.
track.
Is it Bon Jovi the Boss or is it
No, Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce
is the
Springsteen?
boss.
Springsteen's the boss. Right. Anyway,
okay.
butchered that reference. Here's
Bon
Jumpin'
Jovi's
Jack
from
Flash by
New
Rolling
Jersey.
Stones.
Jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas. Jumping Jack Flash,
To do that
it's
fucking
a
real
gas. Jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas. Jumping Jack Flash, it's a gas.
Like, come,
Yeah, there we go.
Oh
Phil
yeah.
X.
Phil X, dude, Bon Jovi guitar player.
I like that
I-
name.
Playing on some Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of layers to it, which I like. It's like,
Well,
why bring Bon Jovi's guitarist on? Why do a Rolling Stone track? So important. This one,
Well-
as far as rock and roll goes, man,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a deep cut of a Rolling Stones track, but you have your tracks that
Yeah.
they always do on the radio. So them being like, no, this is
Mhm.
this is the track we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Phil X on it. He destroys the guitar on this one. He doesn't really. He doesn't sugarcoat his
No.
part,
No.
and I think that's what makes it.
And you're like, he's from Bon Jovi?
Yeah, it's like you're boy Bon Jovi.
He's been doing this? He can do
Bon
this,
Jovi?
but he's in Bon Jovi?
I mean, listen, he's been doing live
Bon
shows
Jovi.
with Bon Jovi for a couple years.
Yeah.
That changes a man.
yeah. He's like, I want to rip, actually.
do
After all this
shit.
Bon Jovi stuff, I need to rip. I need
Yeah,
to rip
dude,
on this
and that's the
guitar.
thing, like,
I mean, what do solos come
Let's
out
go
of
back
other
to
than live
Toto's guitar
performances?
player.
To who? Toto? Oh, Toto?
Sorry.
Well, no, you're good. His guitar player is like, he doesn't get to play the same shit he's playing on these tracks as he
Yeah.
is with Toto.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like every guitar player, like when you giving them another opportunity that they're not just like doing their shit,
Yeah.
they can shine. I mean, that's what it's all
Yeah.
collaboration. That's why this whole fucking album rips,
Yeah.
because you got so many different layers and people.
Yeah. A lot of people like cooks in the kitchen, but not in a bad way. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
tell ya.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have the same frame of reference band.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, I've been thinking about that, like in terms of like leadership
Right.
in general. Like
Yeah.
if you organize it correctly, however
Yeah,
that has to be done,
Yeah.
then
A
you
leader's
can
in the
shine.
trenches,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you organize the noise correctly,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that noise is,
Well, I do
then
think
you can shine.
right. I think he was saying in the interview that part of it was Ross Hogarth, the producer for the album, is also part of like what helped solidify it. Like I think he met him somewhat recently in his life, and like they really connected, But
Well, I like the way it's mixed, man. Like,
yeah, really great mix.
What I said, where it was like,
Yeah.
it sounds like they're bringing people on a stage.
Oh, and I was gonna say this reminds me. All these tracks remind me of like
go to the next one.
Ringo's
Let's get-
All Star
Death
Band.
Throwaway.
Well, I was just gonna say they all remind me of like Ringo Starr's All Star Band because he has all stars that just come with him on the road randomly. So he's always got. He had the guy from
Right.
Toto. He had Edgar Winter at the one I saw. It is just like old rockers having fun. And then we get to this track, another one by Johnny Winter, and this one's actually somewhat tragic just because of who's on it. We have Taylor Hawkins on this track.
Yeah.
Can't keep waiting on you. Get you less and want you more. Time to jump up on you. Don't know what I'm waiting for. Got my gaze up on you. What fame lays up on you. Get down for
Oh,
Yeah. And that's also featuring Doug Rappaport, a what I know as a YouTube guitar tutorial guy. That's also apparently a blues legend. But yeah, Taylor Hawkins, though, on a serious note, Taylor Hawkins passed away a month before this album came out. So he passed away in
wild.
March, and this came out in April.
Wow.
So this we didn't figure this out until the listen through, so I didn't look into it. But this is definitely one of his last recordings, at least.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
good.
mean? We don't know if it's the last, but it's like it sucks that. Well, I think what really it's kind of bittersweet because like this album is like the perfect album for him to be on, considering it is a tribute album to someone that's lost. But
And his brother.
he's also not the focus of this tribute album. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much of, I don't know how much Edgar Winter talked about the fact that he had passed recently. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
yeah, because, he might not have been that close to Taylor Hawkins necessarily. He might have just had him on, because
That's true.
he's a fan, and I'm sure for Taylor Hawkins it was an amazing experience working with these legends.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the influence and it's the opportunity,
Yeah.
And for him to be like, whoa, I got asked, fuck yeah, I'll join it. And
Yeah,
like that just
right?
showed his being like, what did he do with his life? Well, it sounds like every opportunity he got, he took.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's exactly why he was on the Foo Fighters,
yeah. So
That's a big fucking deal.
yeah, it is nice to hear him in such high form too. Like really bringing his all into the track. Because he's trying to impress, like you were saying about like playing in front of BB King or whatever. Like you're trying
Oh,
to,
dude.
like you're in front of legends. You're trying to
Jones.
really bring your fucking
I
A
would-
game.
That's when you do it,
Pull out all
man.
the
Yeah.
stops.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Otherwise, why even fucking show up?
Yeah, I'd try
right.
to show my ex. I'd probably wink at him, and try to
Yeah, be like, hey,
Hey, pull my dick
you
out
wanna,
of it.
I mean,
wanna
bro,
come to my hotel
that
room
is-
later, Edgar Winter?
Yeah, exactly. I'd have a whole. I wouldn't go Motel 6. I'd fucking go Hyatt.
Hyatt?
No,
Yeah.
listen. Well, that's the attitude, though.
Exactly.
Like,
yep,
otherwise,
exactly.
why not show up if you're not gonna bring your
Yeah.
A game?
yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you're not going to
definitely.
your A game,
whatever your A
don't show
game
up.
is for that day, Mondays
Yeah.
and
And,
Fridays are
a lot of these guys do,
Yeah.
and that brings me to
the next track.
because we're doing Taylor. It's just drowning my own tears, but there's I'll mention this later. There's another track with Warren Haynes of Government Mule that he fucking brings his in.
Oh yeah, you did sound for Government Mule once, right?
I did,
Yeah,
over at
very
the
cool.
Riviera Theater.
Yeah.
Government Mule came through, and it was awesome just because.
Yeah.
Having their sound guy who it was actually it was really special because Greg Allman passed recently, and so we
okay.
talked about it, which was kind of cool because we were just my friend Goose, or not R.I.P. Jesus, he is
Oh, yeah.
well
R.I.P. Goose.
the second track. He is Goose is amazing, and I remember talking to Goose about it because he said he went to a festival where Greg Allman passed, and he was watching Government Mule play, and we were also working together at the show. So
wow.
they playing at the Riv. I'm talking to Goose. He's like, "Yeah, man, I fucking love Government Mule." I went and saw them at whatever festival it was, and he's like, "Greg Allman passed," and they were like, they came out and they were like, we were gonna have this as our set list, but like we think it would be appropriate if we played this song, and they like played a perfect Greg Allman song, and I just think it was
Wow.
like, it just goes to show
That's
like
beautiful.
live music,
Yeah.
being a part of the experience, being a part
Yeah.
of how things change in
Mhm.
real time.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
they weren't gonna do that, and Greg
Yeah.
Allman,
Right.
and they were like,
Those are special shows.
we have to change the set.
Yeah.
And that's like crazy to be like in front of thousands
Right. Yeah.
of people.
When you're that
Like,
kind of band, yeah, everything is
Yeah.
planned out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
not only can they do it, but I mean, even if they couldn't, they probably felt it necessary to.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Some bands probably couldn't do it, but like, it,
I
like,
agree.
so like someone that knows what the fuck they're doing, like knows the blues, like, yeah, they can pull it out.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
beautiful, man. It
Gotta
just was
pull
one
it
of
out
those
your
things
Yeah.
of like
ass
hearing him
sometimes.
say
Yeah.
because he loves Fish, so he's
Yeah.
like all live band experience type
Ah.
Oh,
thing.
it did.
Here's this next track we got for you is "Drown in My Own Tears."
Very appropriate.
There's a tear.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Why can't you say you ought to come on home?
loves the drag.
Oh, so I won't.
Ow!
Yeah.
Mm.
That one partially made
Whoa.
popular by is this the one? No, yeah, this was the one made popular by Ray Charles. Ray Charles has the best known version of it.
Okay.
Henry Glover is the artist, and yeah, I think it's a really good choice for the album. Considering the themes of the album and the tribute to his
Mhm.
brother and all that.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, it really does have, it's one of the tracks that
Well,
is the
he
most
knows his
personal.
brother, so he
you
knows
know?
what his brother
Yeah.
was listening
Yeah.
to too. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah,
That's
And it-
important to bring up.
yeah, and it's like I think that he is a guy that kind of like intellectualizes a lot of stuff.
Mhm. I think they both did.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know as much about Johnny honestly, but I'm learning a lot from this album.
They were.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
mean,
think-
they
I
both
think-
just did like similar things, but like in different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had the iconic like
Yes.
not quite albino, but you think I thought they were albino for a long time in my life.
Dude, I grew up with a fucking set of triplet albinos in my town, and that was
Oh wow. Triplet albinos.
Damn.
it was terrifying. I had never heard a better plot for a horror story than me going to the worst part was, sorry, I shouldn't say the worst part. They were fine. They're beautiful people. I had no problem with it. But I love the idea of like, so we went
These
to this
fucking
thing called Kids
freaks.
Connect, which was like the after school care when we were kids, and they
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
But the second one was I was babysat by a woman in the neighborhood, and she was great. She's amazing. I love her to death. But the albino children were also babysat by them. So I just was like there when they were there. And it wasn't necessarily like Codename Kids Next Door, like the good children
Oh
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
Love
what I'm
that
saying?
show.
And
Yeah.
they weren't like that at all. They were actually chill. So and actually we had 3 sets of triplets in town.
Oh my god. Something
Yeah.
something in the water.
Those albino children. Then there was the Huttons, and then there was the Hales.
Oh my
Um,
god. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Huh.
I mean, and there was
You
always,
had to
actually,
learn to grow up
crazy,
with these
there was
people.
always 2 girls, 1 guy.
They're crazy.
Huh.
Very weird,
Man.
right?
Yeah. It is crazy. Like that does happen sometimes where like it's a lot in this small area,
Mhm.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it
happened?
happens that a lot of people are
Yeah.
creepy in small towns. Speaking
does
of,
happen.
creepy
Yeah,
in
there's
small
that.
towns,
Yeah.
That does happen.
It's this
But
Oh, I
anyways.
wanted to say about. Sorry, I just wanted to say about the
Okay.
blues in general. It is. I did find, dealing with grief with my own sibling, that like love songs in particular took a different like feeling and meaning entirely. You know what I mean? Like I think love songs explore a similar sense of like longing and a similar sense of like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? So like I think that yeah, some of these songs are, I think, originally written about women, but can be, you know,
Can be
utilized in a different way.
translated otherwise.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too deep
Yeah.
because it might be personal. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
what about love songs gave you the negative perspective and stuff?
It's not a negative perspective. It's just like when you're in grief and you are longing for that person that's gone.
It's easy to let
Oh,
emotion
yeah.
out.
Yeah. It's like a lot of love songs also have this similar
Yeah,
longing.
absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so important
That's
to
a
recognize.
very
Yeah.
Because people are like,
it's a very
"Oh, you should've
easy
fucked him."
emotion to write
You're
about.
like, no,
Yeah, and I think that
love them. I'm not going to have sex
Grief-
with them.
yeah,
gives
right,
you-
exactly.
Grief gives
you
you
ever-
speech sometimes.
There's not as many songs about
Especially to
straight up
yourself.
grief too, you know? Like grief is you know, harder I think to
Mhm.
express
I agree.
about in a song too. But
John,
I,
what were you
I
saying?
don't think
Sorry,
so. I don't
couldn't
think
hear.
so because like grief to the right writer in particular, and maybe that is the issue that we're crossing on, is like grief really like I have been
Yeah.
in grief, and I
Well,
can
I'm just
tell you
saying-
I have talked
yeah.
to myself the most,
yeah.
and if I was writing stuff down,
Well, I just mean there's
I
not
would-
as
you
much
know, like-
songs about it. You know what I mean?
that's okay.
yeah.
Well,
Like, there's not as
I
many
mean,
songs that are just
okay,
straight up about
that's a
like
fair point.
this is a loved one that died and I'm
Mhm.
singing about it.
Right.
There's countless love songs about like longing for
Right,
someone, you
right.
know. So I found
That's-
well, like when the radio
fair.
something would come on, I'd be like, oh, that's really hitting in a way that didn't hit like before.
Oh man, I love songs.
Yeah.
I
too,
actually
man.
so I've written a lot of songs that are so sad love songs, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to do that. Like I genuinely got to a point where I went, I could write this, and if for some godforsaken reason I had to play it for someone,
Yeah.
it would be a sad tune. And I was like, do I want to do that over and over and over and over and over again for the rest of my life?
Would you say that was self-destructive?
Oh, I would say it was absolutely self-destructive.
And it maybe gave you the
Oh,
blues.
Damn.
It gave me
yeah,
more than
yeah.
that.
The self-destructive
It
blues.
gave me a whole album by
Yeah.
Edgar Winter.
My mother.
And
well, here's the self-destructive blues.
this is a great track. Go back and forth. Crazy guitar solo. Rip it up the tape, bro.
Motherfucker, I gotta get up and spread this blues around.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, like, it's so traditional, iconic blues. Like, every fucking. And it's crazy because people are like, okay, like, this is so stupid, and I'll say this just for the sake of it, but I did jazz studies in college, and then I did,
Nice.
like, blues studies in college, and it's like, because I have a BA in English and a minor in music. And
Okay.
so with
Mm-hmm.
having a jazz study and a blues study, I mean, it's all about, well, first and foremost, black culture, which is important
Yeah.
to recognize
Right.
as
Absolutely.
we would not fucking have any of this shit
Yeah.
without black.
Yeah.
And part of it is that them moving from the Mississippi to Chicago and to other places.
Oh
And
yeah, Route 61 or whatever.
Dude,
That's
exactly.
what. Yeah,
And
Route 61
so
was.
You get to this point where you go back to these blues. There's a skeleton for this track,
Mhm.
for this style of track.
Yeah.
You know, this is how it works.
Yeah.
But when you get into the nervous system and you get into the muscles and you get into the skin, it is a completely different sound than
Mhm.
what you would hear from traditional blues tracks.
Yeah.
And so when you go into all these covers of these
Yeah.
songs, the skeleton is the same.
Yeah.
The tone,
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
different-
that's what I'm saying. Like it's so like it's so instrumental in the instrumentalism of it.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
was,
You know,
yeah,
they always say that shit. Like what
Yep.
what did they do? And
Yeah.
it's like they built this country. Everything.
Absolutely.
Everything from the
It's-
ground
it's
up.
been-
You always find something that's theirs. And
Yeah.
we were like,
It's
that's
crazy.
fucking
They-
fantastic.
You sit and look at shit, and you're just like,
I love it so much. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, one of my
Sorry.
so when I lived in Chicago, it was great because one of my best friends, Dwayne Porter, I love him to death, and he. I remember my dad even telling me this because we lived together. So we were friends for 4 years in college, but then we lived together for 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
And people were like, first and foremost, they were like, "Are you gay?" I thought that was super funny because I was just like, no, no. Why
I
would
just
you
have
be gay?
friends.
Listen, it's difficult growing up in this age because it's like
Yeah,
I
I mean,
get the same shit.
Yeah, it's hard for boomers to
I
comprehend.
get the same shit. I work in
Dude,
a
they
very
have no
like
idea, dude.
I work
It's
in a
so
very
stupid.
Republican job, and like
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
that environment
Yeah,
that makes people think that of me sometimes, and I'm just
I,
like,
and
nah,
it's
man,
like, dude,
Yeah.
I just
I'm
exist.
straight as fuck.
I'm just in tune with my
Like,
emotions, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm not toxic
can we
about
not,
shit.
like
It was
just be
super
toxic
funny.
and shit,
Yeah.
like
we
all the
live
time.
with so many people, like in the like, God, how fucking
Mhm.
long did we live
I know.
together? Technically, we lived together like 8 years.
Oh my god!
And it was because, like, when I first started, I was living on campus at our college
Mhm.
and blah, 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 blah. But when we lived together, we lived with this guy, Brandon, for 6 months, who was, I'd known this guy for like
Oh,
5
God.
months.
Yeah,
And we
I'm-
decided not to be roommates with him because he was being
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm sorry.
And
Can we?
then we lived with his ex-girlfriend for
Yeah.
another, like, 2 years. And she was fine, but also crazy. So we stopped living with her.
Hey,
was
So
she
it
a
was like
pain,
that-
a memory, a pain of a memory?
can we? Yeah, pain of memory.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was a pain of a memory.
yeah.
When I think back on it,
Maybe
it
that's
pains-
what this song's about.
Oh,
okay. Warren Haynes has the best fucking guitar solo on the whole fucking album. Warren Haynes carries this fucking track.
Yeah,
It's a great track, and he carries it.
yeah.
My woman would be gone.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Warren Haynes, if you listen to the record, he shifts from being auxiliary guitarist, the rhythm guitarist on
Right.
the side, who's still soloing, by the way.
Oh, he's
to-
one of those guys that can do both
He-
at the same time.
Warren Haynes played for Government Mule. He's amazing.
Okay,
He's-
okay,
Oh yeah, I
okay.
remember seeing him, and he was phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
And he's so modest, man. He just
Yeah.
doesn't. He's here to play guitar, and if people ask him about it, they're gonna he's gonna tell them his opinion,
Yeah.
but they're gonna be like, "Don't you deserve more?" And he's like, "Deserve what? I do what I love." You know, he just
yeah.
guy, dude.
Yeah, there's
He
certain
does-
bands they find their ability to like tour and like get paid
Yes.
and
Yes.
not get the glory or whatever,
And not
but
get the
like
glory,
they're
yes,
able
Hey,
to
listen.
live.
Fame.
if you
And
make
that's what it's
enough
really
to
about.
live,
Dude, like
That's
we
what it's
explained
about.
in the Lone
Yeah.
Star Blues, the third track. Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be the famous guy,
yeah,
so that he doesn't trust.
He just wanna
anyone.
play
He just
music.
wants to fucking play on the track,
Yeah.
man.
he just want to play music and like live his life. Some of
you
those
know,
that's
always-
fine.
I always hear shit about like how America's like wrong for like showing the tippity top of what like uselessness and billions of dollars can be for like certain people.
Yeah,
I always say it's not like that shouldn't be the thing we're arguing about. The thing that we should be arguing about is most people should just be making enough,
yeah,
be able to appreciate that
yeah,
without necessarily wanting that.
yeah,
Because there are plenty
Yeah.
of people that just want to live,
yeah.
own a house, not
Yeah.
have it be a struggle, a struggle.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah.
struggle, you
And,
know,
and it,
like-
it only seems like billionaires are the ones that think that struggle is important to your well-being. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
seems like-
odd that I would
Yeah.
hear someone say that we're going to have to struggle a bit. Why?
Why would
Why-
we? Why
why
are
would-
we
what-
gonna?
You know,
want me to
well,
struggle
but-
for us
and
to
we-
get
when
to
you
greater-
have
to brighter days,
more
We've
money
been
than has
living
ever
so
existed.
long
Grass,
with
like-
you might have to struggle, but and we didn't even get that with
what's
this.
that level?
We just
Because
got like you got to
Yeah.
struggle for a little bit,
If- if
guys. What's the problem with
if
that?
I'll have to eat like chicken and beans once a week, maybe. But if I have to be homeless, that's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Like
I don't,
it's like
I don't think these people
will-
know what
I'm
struggle
sorry.
means.
Said, I
Oh.
will fight for what is right and for my country, but
Yeah.
like
Absolutely,
they are definitely not telling
We're
us what's
not-
real.
Yeah,
we're not getting what we're like. The majority is not getting what they're supposed to be getting.
It's like
So
when
what
I
is
go
the
into
next
work
hit?
every Monday, it's stormy.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't need to fucking.
You get
I
the
don't
blues.
know what I'm
You
reaching
get the blues,
for.
right?
I get a lot of the
blues
blues.
out.
Yeah,
I blues out.
you blues out.
Actually,
Yeah,
I get a lot of the blues.
It's gross, dude. People don't tune in. People don't watch it.
That's what I say.
Ah, shit.
They just fucking absolutely annihilate the
Yeah.
piano because they're like
Yeah,
Stop.
this is great piano.
they go hard
Oh.
on some parts, and they pull
Yeah.
back, which is what I like.
Makes me want to
Because they-
slump
they're-
on a bar, Bo Dits.
Right?
On
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Yeah. This is Aaron Thibault Walker with Robin Ford.
Yeah, Robin does a great job. He has some slide technique. He has some ripping
Yeah.
stuff, but like the piano player on this one, really, I don't want to say carries,
Mhm.
but like
Yeah.
it's just, I love it, man.
Yeah.
The piano has like it. The
Just-
piano has chords and it
Well, it
has
just
Yeah.
wraps around
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I
Absolutely.
really like the the piano, but I really like the fact that in this song they have the line where it's like, and then I when I pray I say, and then he just does a really sick guitar solo. Like, so his like guitar solo is him talking to God
Yeah.
instead of him like saying words. He's praying with his guitar.
I mean,
think is
isn't
very,
that
very
what
cool.
music's supposed to be, though?
Well, yeah, I have always thought that music is ultimately worship of some kind. You know,
It
what
is
I mean?
our voice without being our
yeah,
voice.
yeah. Like
Doesn't
that's
have to
some
have
of
a
the
language.
oldest music is from
Language.
spiritual worship of some kind.
Language helps us communicate. The universal language
yeah.
does not need to be explained.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's just a really, really this is a really fun track. It's getting back to, we got a couple of songs that are in this vein where we got the Meantown Blues, the Lone Star Blues, we got the
Stormy Monday
Drown in My
Blues.
Tears, Self-Destructive Blues, and Stormy Monday Blues. So like, yeah, they're really,
all about loss, man.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's exactly why he put these in here. And then
Yeah.
and even looking back now, it's not that I didn't think about it, but like just reflecting is one of
Yeah.
those things. I'm like,
Yeah.
now that I'm going back, I'm like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
there's some heart. I mean, he puts his brother on the fucking album cover,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would he put himself solo?
Yeah.
And
I love the picture.
He's like, this is why I'm writing this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he
First and
puts him at the
foremost.
bottom left. He puts his brother at the top right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and his brother. He sits straight forward, and because he's telling you the story,
Yeah.
his brother is top right, and because it's
Yeah.
in
Kind of
Arizona
profile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
perspective. But he is like, he's lost, man. He's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that
Yeah.
in a very special place because I think people underestimate how much things are intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you think that album cover isn't intentional,
Yeah.
the way that it looks and the way that it
It's
Yeah.
it's the differentiation of jokes versus non-jokes, but
yep.
some things aren't jokes, but some things are
Yep.
joke. I don't know, man. Everything's just. That's where it's at, by the way.
You
Yeah.
gotta
But
take.
we're
you gotta
trying.
play it by
We're
ear.
trying.
Yeah.
We're trying so hard.
You wanna?
We're gonna figure it out.
We're gonna.
What's the
You want to
next
get
track?
our mojo working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's a ripping track.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that harmonica personally. I know our guest Max is not as into the harmonica, but that track though has a lot of really really cool harmonica, and also it is a best known by the Muddy Waters version. We have Preston Foster and Bobby Rush also involved in this track. Got my mojo working.
Got my mojo working. I love that
working.
tone response, man. Anything that's like, especially when it's just like backing vocals being like da 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 da. You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Big
I'm
appreciator
doing
of
my
that shit.
thing, and yeah, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, call and response.
Yeah,
Telling
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
that's
That
part of the
sign me
art of it.
yeah. This was
You
a
know,
very,
we're losing that.
it was a very triumphant track too. It's like,
yeah, triumphant. I like that.
it's a very triumphant track before the final track, which is
Mhm.
like, more somber and
Dude,
more of
end of
a,
the line, rip it.
yeah.
Man, this
Let's do it.
This is where it's at.
Oh.
Now it still appears I'm standing at the end. Hey, yeah, of the line.
I will note.
That's a beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Good
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, and it was like one of the only ones I heard strings.
Yeah. He brought in the David Campbell string section.
Dude,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, and it was because he wanted to finalize it
Yeah.
in a sense of grace.
Yeah.
Of like, and I think that that's so important because he,
Yeah.
first and foremost, Meantown Blues, where he's just like laying it out on the line. Second one being his brother, being his fucking laying it. He goes back to When You Got a Good Friend,
Mm-hmm.
and when he's hit there, I was like, that sits in a space that he wouldn't have been in the group he was in it without his brother.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to have good friends, man.
Those
Mhm.
those are the decisions, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Life is determined, but your decisions determine where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to be in a band with his brother, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And this is where he sits.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be in the position he was in if he didn't fucking be like, yo, hey, you want to play some tunes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously they probably
Their
played
earliest.
a lot growing up.
Yeah.
It's
Probably
a
their,
little different when you decide this
Yeah.
is our band.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And-
it's beautiful they did their separate things so wonderfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had
I agree.
they
Yep.
each carved their own space.
Yes.
Which I mean they could have just, doubled up and just, made it a dual, brother career, which a lot of people do, but he didn't.
You know,
Absolutely.
I always
Yeah.
wondered about that
Yeah.
because I first noticed that
Yeah.
they kind of started together and then they
Yeah.
separated, and all of a sudden everything was like a separate album.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Well, they just had different tastes. Yeah.
Family shit, man.
Yeah. Because
Sometimes shit
generally,
There's all the back end info.
We don't even know.
yeah. Like he's not like a blues guy
Mhm.
by trade, but he
Right.
he learned to appreciate the blues through his brother, and this is him giving his best send off to the blues and to his brother, And I'd like to think this is the kind of track that was played at the funeral.
You say that, but like,
Listen, I
he's
really
the blues
enjoyed
guy,
this.
right? Isn't that the point?
What? What's up?
So like his brother sending the blues sent off. his brother was the flavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His brother was like the
I mean, that's kind of why he's doing it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
isn't that kind
exactly.
of the proof's
So
in the pudding?
he's like, this is what I have to offer. He's like, I can't be you.
But you can
I'm
do
not,
that
I'm
because
not
it's
the-
your legacy.
Yeah.
It's
taste.
part of your legacy.
I'm
Yeah.
not the Michael McDonald, which I'll explain that.
We explained that
Because-
like 45 minutes ago, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say this, which was the Michael McDonald situation is a little different. But the point is like you are not the same influence. Like he's all the fucking old school blues tracks, man.
Mhm.
He knew all these songs when they started.
Yeah.
It's not that he
Yeah.
this is his him going back to when they first fucking were a band
Yeah.
and and he can't have his brother, so he has to bring all these fucking
Yeah, and maybe some of these tracks he listened to with his brother, when he was growing up,
absolutely.
And that,
Absolutely.
that always
Yeah.
the nostalgia factor.
Because his
Yeah.
brother heard him playing them
Yeah.
to know how to fucking
Mhm.
be in that style. And his
Absolutely.
brother was like, "That's what I love about you." You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And his brother was like, "Hey, because what was his brother listening to? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Right.
It wasn't the same as him.
No.
It
No.
was
And
the same.
then he went and did Frankenstein, and he was off to
Yep.
the races. It was like, whoa, okay.
And those were the races.
So I do blues, but you do whatever this is. That's interesting.
Well, I think Frankenstein sits in a certain space that they both
Yeah,
appreciated.
Oh yeah,
You know, like that
Yeah.
song wouldn't have happened without both of them. But
definitely. That's an
it is
amazing.
very
Yeah.
bluesy.
Oh yeah.
So,
So are we-
Well, I was gonna
Are we
say.
grading this?
Oh yeah, we gotta grade this. That's right. I forgot. I almost forgot, man. We have to grade this on how well it lands as a concept album. That's the final thing we do on the podcast.
Well, so how can you calculate for me how many are?
I give it a 3.
He's giving it 3.
Covered.
Solid
John gives it a solid 3. Okay.
Out
So
of 5,
Very,
right?
very
Out of 5,
good.
yes.
Very good
Okay,
concept
good.
throughout.
yeah,
Plus, I really always appreciate the
yeah,
like standard of
Yeah.
like that he's doing it for his brother.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
always appreciate
Well, man, I'll give it a 3.5 if
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
we're being. Because honestly, like the reason why I would give it a 4, like I've never been on here, so
Yeah,
the reason why I would give it a 4 is because 3.54 because a lot of this is improv, and I
Mhm.
think I feel it, and I hear it, and I think that's important because that's what bringing the friends are about. You know, that's why he's
Yeah.
a part of Ringo's All Star Band,
Mhm.
right?
yeah,
And Johnny Winter and Edgar Winter,
yeah,
they set a space that a lot of people don't really recognize these days.
hmm
They've heard Frankenstein, but
yeah,
they don't know anything else.
yeah,
And I don't think they get the credit they deserve. And so I sit and I think about it,
yeah.
and I go, okay, where do I sit it?
I think that's fair. I think that's a good assessment right there. Like I do
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I think
man,
I'll echo
that's
John.
not
I
me.
think
That's
it's
why you brought me on.
about
You know,
3. I'm just thinking 3. Like I think that's around where we put the last waltz, and I think it kind of belongs in a similar spot as the last waltz because it captures that same kind of we're capturing a moment. We're capturing
Okay.
a very specific thing,
And they don't
giving
really
credence.
spread their acoustic or their sonic
Yeah.
spectrum very far. My point is every track,
They understood the
right,
assignment.
It's cohesive.
Yeah, everyone
What?
understood the assignment very well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I'm a guest.
Yeah.
And then it had a certain sound,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Definitely.
They did a good job at it.
Yeah. So
I don't think I heard anyone
yeah.
rip it so hard that they
Yeah.
And actually, this is really funny about that
Yeah.
is that I kind of wish it reminds me. So I have this story. I'm so sorry, John's not here.
I
I
was
have
gonna
this
say
story. I used to work for.
we'll end the pod with this story.
For what?
We're gonna end the pod with this story. All right.
Okay. So this is what it is. It's I work at a country bar in Chicago for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like top 40s country.
Oh my god.
And like I had to learn, okay, to love that style and that
Oh
genre,
wow.
right?
Okay.
That's fine.
Exposure therapy.
But it wasn't my thing, man.
Yeah.
I like death metal. So
Yeah.
This guy Keith, fucking love Keith. He's a sweetheart. And the lead singer of the band, they would do Sunday brunch every Sunday, and I would get hired to do sound for Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
It was Keith,
Yeah.
and it was fuck, dude. I'll give you a take when I remember his name, which is really
It's
bad.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're late.
Well,
We're late in the
bad 'cause he
podcast.
died. That's the worst part. So he died, and they put his like fucking plaque on the fucking stage.
Oh
And
wow.
I didn't know he died until when the pandemic was happening.
Oh shit.
So I like went to go mix their band.
Yeah.
Eric Ortiz.
Yeah.
Eric
Ortiz. Yeah.
He was like a big dude, and he lost a bunch of weight,
Yeah.
tons of weight, like 130,
Oh wow.
160 pounds of
Yeah.
weight, and he died
Oh my god.
because he had a heart attack. His body couldn't take it, dude. That's like
That's
how
rough.
it happens, man.
Yeah.
And Eric fucking died, and I remember mixing this band, and I was just sitting there thinking, Keith, it would be Sunday brunch at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
and it'd be this like top 40s country song, right?
Yeah.
He would rip these solos that were like some of the most complex, like metal,
Yeah.
80s hair metal fucking solos that I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be like, it'd be like the most stupid fucking country song, and then he'd have a solo.
Yeah.
Keith annihilated this guitar. I've never heard someone, and I remember literally talking about it. I was like, Keith, what is happening? Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of 80s thrash metal. And I was like, yeah, I can fucking tell, Keith. Like, you're ripping this guitar to pieces. You can't do this in country songs. You know what I mean? And I think what's great is a couple things. Some of these guys, you can tell they're not holding back, but they're putting themselves in their place because they want to set a certain way with the way that they represent themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. That there's something admirable about that.
Yeah.
You know, for you to be like this annihilating. Here, hold on. I'll say this. John said. So, John, what I'm talking about is like one of the things I like about this album is there's some places where some really talented, annihilating guitar players set that they hold back for the album.
Yeah.
For them to sit in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the fucking first person who does it, but like does it in a way that's better than anyone else is Warren Haynes, man. Shout out to Warren Haynes.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
fucking annihilates that.
Yeah.
He's not soloing.
Yeah.
He is doing stuff entire song.
He is speaking and singing with the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. And he understands.
Yeah.
He understands the assignment, but like he just excels.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was my favorite track. I don't know if you guys have a favorite. I'll say there's something.
I think my favorite solo is probably the ZZ Top bit. What about you? Do you have a favorite bit?
I mean, honestly, some of those real blues cuts.
Yeah, the really bluesy
Yeah.
bits. Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you were digging it, man. I love
Yeah.
I love
Hoochie Coo. Hoochie Coo.
Hoochie
Rock and
Coo.
roll
Hoochie
Hoochie
Coo.
Yeah.
Hoochie Coo. That was my
Well,
favorite
hey.
cover for sure.
But hey, we are running a little long on this podcast.
Hoochie
So
I know, sorry.
it's okay. But I'm gonna
good.
have to cut it
A lot of
off.
material.
At least the
to-
live
to
stream. We
pick
can
through.
keep talking for a second. But anyway, thank you, Max, for jumping on. I really, really appreciate it. It's been really fun
Anytime,
talking
man,
to you
honestly.
about
Yeah,
this stuff.
Mhm.
We'll
It's all about sport. and about you guys just being being cool dudes.
Dude,
I mean,
You're
I love you
cool.
guys for
You're
who
cool.
you are. So
yeah. Thanks for being on, and we'll definitely have you on again,
Yeah.
dude.
Thanks.
But yeah, thank
Thanks,
you all
bud.
for listening to the Album Concept Hour. We'll see you guys next time.
The Album Concept Hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, and John Aker. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Join the discussion on our Discord. Or for everything else, go to Linktree/Flyover State Park. See you on Side B. This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.